Have you ever had someone invade your mind, relentlessly? No matter how hard you try, their face, their voice, their presence lingers, like a ghost haunting your thoughts. You tell yourself to let go, to move on, but they're always there, day after day, night after night. Maybe it's an ex-lover whose memory stings like a fresh wound, a friend who betrayed you, or even a stranger you met just once, but whose image refuses to fade. You try to distract yourself, scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, throwing yourself into work, but there they are, lurking in the shadows of your mind, uninvited and unrelenting. What if I told you this isn't random? What if I told you they aren't the problem? The legendary psychologist Carl Jung, a man who dared to dive into the darkest depths of the human psyche, uncovered a chilling truth about why this happens. A truth so profound, so unsettling, that it will change the way you see yourself forever. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never see your thoughts, or them, the same way again. Buckle up, because this journey into your mind is about to take a twisted turn. Stick around until the end for a revelation that will blow your mind. Let's start with a question. Why do they keep showing up in your head? Is it love, obsession, unresolved trauma, or is it something far stranger? Something that defies the logic of everyday life? Carl Jung, the Swiss psychologist who revolutionized our understanding of the mind, believed that the people who haunt our thoughts aren't just memories, they're mirrors. Mirrors reflecting parts of you that you've buried, ignored, or even feared. These aren't just fleeting thoughts, they're messages, coded signals from the deepest parts of your psyche, begging you to pay attention. This is where Jung's concept of projection comes in. A concept so powerful, it explains not just why we obsess over certain people, but why we're drawn to them, repelled by them, or even haunted by them. But before we dive into that, let me tell you a story. A story that starts innocently enough but takes a dark and unexpected twist. A story that will make you question everything you think you know about your own mind. Meet Emma. She's a 29-year-old graphic designer, living a seemingly normal life in a bustling city. She has a cozy apartment, a tight-knit group of friends, and a job she loves, designing vibrant, eye-catching artwork for clients around the world. But beneath this picture-perfect exterior, Emma is struggling. For the past 6 months, she's been tormented by thoughts of Alex, her ex-boyfriend. They dated for only 3 months, and their breakup was mutual, or so she thought. It wasn't a dramatic, fiery end. There were no screaming matches or broken promises. They simply drifted apart, agreeing that they weren't right for each other. Emma moved on, or at least she thought she did. But then, something strange started happening. Every morning, she wakes up with Alex's face in her mind, as vivid as if he were standing in front of her. Every song on the radio reminds her of him, even songs they never listened to together. She sees him in strangers on the street, his sharp jawline in a barista, his sly grin in a coworker, his piercing eyes in a passerby. It's as if the universe is conspiring to keep him in her thoughts, no matter how hard she tries to escape. Emma is baffled. She's tried everything to banish Alex from her mind. She's meditated, visualizing white light washing away his image. She's gone to therapy, talking through the breakup until she's blue in the face. She's even tried dating apps, swiping through profiles in a desperate attempt to replace Alex with someone new. But nothing works. The more she tries to forget him, the more persistent he becomes. Emma starts to wonder, am I going crazy? Is this some kind of cosmic sign that we're meant to be together? Is the universe trying to tell me something? Or is there something darker at play, something hidden within my own mind? As the weeks turn into months, Emma's obsession begins to take a toll. She's distracted at work, her designs losing their usual spark. She's withdrawn from her friends, canceling plans to stay home and brood. And at night, her dreams are haunted by Alex, sometimes as the charming, witty man she fell for, sometimes as a shadowy, menacing figure who seems to know her deepest fears. But then, one night, everything changes. Emma is cleaning out her desk, trying to declutter her space in hopes of decluttering her mind, when she stumbles across an old journal entry from their time together. It's not a love note, it's a rant. A furious, scrawled-out rant about how Alex's arrogance drove her up the wall, how his constant need for attention made her feel invisible, how she hated the way he'd dismiss her ideas as if they were worthless. As she reads, a strange realization hits her. She doesn't miss Alex. In fact, she doesn't even like him. The breakup wasn't just mutual, it was a relief. So why is he always on her mind? Why does his image cling to her like a shadow she can't shake? This is where Carl Jung's genius comes in. Jung would say Emma isn't obsessed with Alex. She's obsessed with a part of herself that Alex represents. This is the power of projection, and it's the first piece of the puzzle. Let's pause Emma's story for a moment to unpack this idea of projection, because it's absolutely crucial to understanding why certain people dominate our thoughts. According to Jung, projection is when we take parts of ourselves, qualities, desires, fears, even flaws, that we refuse to acknowledge, and we plaster them onto someone else. That person becomes a canvas for our unconscious mind, a living, breathing projection screen for the parts of ourselves we can't bear to face. For Emma, Alex isn't just an ex, he's a symbol of her own suppressed arrogance, her own need for validation, her own dismissed creativity. Jung called this hidden part of ourselves the shadow, the dark, unacknowledged side of our psyche, the repository of everything we've pushed away, denied, or deemed unacceptable. Think of the shadow as the attic of your mind, stuffed with dusty boxes of traits, memories, and desires you'd rather forget. But here's the kicker. The more we ignore our shadow, the louder it screams, often through the people we can't stop thinking about. To understand this better, let's consider an analogy. Imagine your mind as a movie theater, and your thoughts as the film playing on the screen. Most of the time, you're watching the main feature, the story of your conscious life, the version of yourself you present to the world. But every now and then, the projectionist, your unconscious, decides to switch reels, slipping in scenes from a darker, hidden film. These scenes are your shadow, and the people who haunt your thoughts are the actors in this secret movie. For Emma, Alex is the star of her shadow's film, embodying the qualities she's refused to acknowledge in herself. His arrogance mirrors her own tendency to dismiss others' ideas, a trait she hides behind her friendly, easygoing persona. His need for attention reflects her own craving for validation, a desire she buries under layers of independence. And his dismissal of her creativity echoes her own self-doubt, the inner critic that whispers she'll never be good enough. In other words, Emma's obsession with Alex isn't about him. It's about her shadow, demanding to be seen. Emma starts to wonder, is this really about Alex, or is it about me? She begins to dig deeper, researching Jung's theories in a desperate bid to understand her own mind. As she reads, she stumbles across another concept that stops her in her tracks: the anima and animus. Jung believed that every person carries an unconscious image of the opposite gender, a kind of inner soulmate, a blueprint of the qualities we seek in a partner, but also the qualities we need to develop within ourselves. For women, this is the animus, a masculine figure in the psyche. For men, it's the anima, a feminine figure. These archetypes often appear in our dreams, our fantasies, and yes, our obsessions, acting as guides to wholeness. Could Alex be a projection of Emma's animus, her inner masculine energy, trying to break free? To answer this, Emma reflects on the qualities she associates with Alex: his confidence, his assertiveness, his ability to take charge. These are traits she admires, but also traits she feels she lacks. Is her obsession a sign that her animus is pushing her to embrace these qualities, to step into her own power? But the anima and animus are more than just personal archetypes. They're also deeply symbolic, tied to the myths and stories of humanity. Jung believed that these figures often appear in exaggerated, almost mythic forms, like characters in a fairy tale. For Emma, Alex might not just represent her inner masculinity. He might also embody the archetype of the trickster, a figure who disrupts order and forces us to confront uncomfortable truths. In mythology, the trickster is both a villain and a teacher, a chaotic force that upends our lives to reveal what we've been avoiding. Was Alex's arrogance, his dismissiveness, his neediness, a kind of trickster energy designed to shake Emma out of her complacency? As Emma ponders this, she begins to see Alex not as a person, but as a symbol, a messenger from her unconscious, carrying lessons she's been too afraid to learn. This is where things get wild. Jung believed that the people who haunt our minds are often carriers of these archetypes, sent by our unconscious to wake us up. But here's the twist. What if it's not just about us? What if there's a deeper, almost mystical force at play? Jung's concept of the collective unconscious suggests that our minds are connected to a shared reservoir of ancient symbols, memories, and energies, stretching across all of humanity, across time and space. This is where things get wild. Jung believed that the people who haunt our minds are often carriers of these archetypes, sent by our unconscious to wake us up. But here's the twist. What if it's not just about us? What if there's a deeper, almost mystical force at play? Jung's concept of the collective unconscious suggests that our minds are connected to a shared reservoir of ancient symbols, memories, and energies, stretching across all of humanity, across time and space. This collective unconscious is like a vast cosmic ocean, where the thoughts, dreams, and experiences of every human who has ever lived ripple and echo, influencing us in ways we can't fully comprehend. Could Emma's obsession with Alex be a message not just from her own psyche, but from something bigger, something cosmic? Is it possible that Alex, or the image of Alex in her mind, is a manifestation of a universal archetype, a symbol that transcends her personal story and taps into the collective human experience? To explore this idea, let's consider another example. Think of a time when you couldn't stop thinking about someone, a parent, a sibling, a rival. Maybe it was a boss who criticized your work, or a friend who ghosted you, or a celebrity you've never met but feel strangely connected to. Now, imagine that this person isn't just a figure in your personal drama, but a character in a much larger story, a story written by the collective unconscious. Perhaps your boss represents the archetype of the tyrant, a symbol of oppressive authority that has appeared in myths and legends for millennia. Perhaps your friend represents the betrayer, a figure who forces us to confront our own vulnerabilities. Perhaps that celebrity embodies the hero, the star, or the lover, archetypes that resonate with universal human desires. When we see these people as archetypes, not just individuals, our obsession takes on a new meaning. It becomes a call to adventure, a quest to integrate the lessons these figures represent into our own lives. Emma, armed with this knowledge, decides to take action. She's tired of being haunted, tired of feeling like a prisoner in her own mind. Her therapist introduces her to a technique called active imagination, a method Jung developed to dialogue with the figures in our unconscious. In active imagination, you close your eyes, enter a relaxed state, and invite the person who's haunting your thoughts to appear. You don't control the encounter. You let the figure speak, act, and reveal itself, as if you're meeting a character in a dream. Emma tries this, sitting in her dimly lit apartment, a candle flickering on the table. She closes her eyes, takes a deep breath, and pictures Alex. At first, he appears as she remembers him, charming, arrogant, infuriating. But as the visualization deepens, Alex transforms, not into a monster, not into a hero, but into a mirror of Emma's own potential. He speaks to her, his voice no longer mocking, but wise, almost otherworldly. "I'm not here to torment you," he says. "I'm here to show you what you've forgotten, your strength, your creativity, your power. You've been hiding from me, but I'm not your enemy. I'm you." Emma is stunned. Jung would say this is the process of individuation, the journey of integrating the shadow, the anima, the animus, and all the fragmented parts of ourselves to become whole. Individuation isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming complete, embracing the light and the dark, the masculine and the feminine, the personal and the universal. For Emma, this encounter is a turning point. She begins to see Alex not as a person to forget, but as a teacher to learn from. She starts to reclaim the qualities she projected onto him, her confidence, her creativity, her assertiveness. She enrolls in a painting class, something she's always wanted to do but never dared. She speaks up at work, pitching ideas she once kept to herself. And slowly, almost miraculously, Alex's image begins to fade from her thoughts. Not because she's erased him, but because she's integrated him. He's no longer a ghost haunting her mind. He's a part of her, a piece of the puzzle that makes her whole. But just when Emma thinks she's solved the mystery, the plot thickens. One evening, as she's sipping tea and sketching in her notebook, her phone buzzes. It's a notification, a new message from Alex after 6 months of silence. The message reads, "I can't stop thinking about you either." Emma's heart races, her mind spinning. Is this a coincidence or something more? This is where Jung's theory of synchronicity comes in, and it's the twist that will leave you questioning everything. Jung describes synchronicity as meaningful coincidences, events that seem random but carry profound significance, as if the universe itself is orchestrating them. Synchronicity isn't just chance. It's a bridge between the inner world of the psyche and the outer world of reality, a sign that our minds are connected to something greater. Jung believed that the collective unconscious could create these connections, linking people's psyches across time and space in ways that defy logic and science. What if Alex is thinking of Emma for the same reason she's thinking of him? What if their minds are entangled, not just through memory, but through a psychic bond, a thread woven by the collective unconscious? Is this obsession a two-way street, a cosmic dance pulling them together for reasons neither can fully understand? Or is it all in Emma's head, a projection of her own unresolved desires, amplified by her imagination? To explore this, Emma decides to meet Alex, not to rekindle their romance, but to understand the truth. They meet at a quiet cafe, the same one where they used to argue, laugh, and fall apart. At first, the encounter is awkward, small talk, forced smiles, the weight of 6 months of silence. But then Alex says something that stops Emma in her tracks. "I've been having these dreams," he says, his voice low, almost embarrassed. "Dreams where you're telling me to wake up, to stop hiding, to be better. I thought it was just guilt, but it felt real, like you were really there." Emma is speechless. Could it be that her active imagination exercises, her dialogues with Alex's image, somehow reached him, crossing the boundaries of space and time? Jung would say it's possible. He believed that the collective unconscious could act as a kind of psychic internet, a network where thoughts, dreams, and symbols flow between minds, especially between people who are emotionally connected. But Jung also cautioned that synchronicity is mysterious, unknowable, a glimpse of a reality beyond our comprehension. For Emma, this encounter doesn't resolve the mystery. It deepens it. She leaves the cafe not with answers, but with questions, and a strange sense of peace. Whether her obsession was a projection, an archetype, or a cosmic connection, it no longer controls her. She's faced her shadow, embraced her animus, and stepped into her own power. Alex, real or imagined, has served his purpose. So let's bring this back to you. That person who's always on your mind, your ex, your crush, your enemy, what are they reflecting back to you? Are they a mirror of your shadow, your anima, your animus? Are they a message from your unconscious, begging you to wake up and face yourself? Or could it be something even stranger, a cosmic connection that defies logic? Carl Jung's theories challenge us to look beyond the surface, to dive into the depths of our psyche, and to embrace the mystery of our obsessions. Because here's the shocking truth. The person on your mind isn't the problem. The real question is, what are you hiding from yourself? And here's an even bigger question. What if the people who haunt our thoughts aren't just mirrors of our past, but also keys to our future? What if they're not holding us back, but pushing us forward, toward a version of ourselves we haven't yet dared to become? Let's take this a step further. What if your obsession isn't just personal, but collective? What if the person on your mind is a symbol of a larger cultural or societal shadow, a reflection of the fears, desires, and conflicts of our time? In Jung's view, the collective unconscious isn't static. It evolves, shaped by the events, myths, and struggles of humanity. Today, in a world of social media, political division, and global uncertainty, our obsessions might carry a broader meaning. Maybe the ex you can't forget represents the collective longing for connection in an age of isolation. Maybe the rival you despise mirrors the collective shadow of competition and scarcity. Maybe the celebrity you idolize embodies the collective anima or animus, a symbol of the qualities our society craves but struggles to embody: creativity, courage, compassion. When we see our obsessions through this lens, they become more than personal dramas. They become portals to understanding ourselves and our world on a deeper level. If this video resonated with you, don't just sit there. Take action. Journal about the person on your mind. Write down everything you associate with them, their qualities, their actions, your feelings. Then ask yourself, could these qualities be parts of me that I've ignored, denied, or feared? Could they be messages from my unconscious, or even from the collective unconscious, guiding me toward wholeness? If you're feeling brave, try active imagination. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and invite that person into your mind. Let them speak. Let them show you what they represent. You might be surprised by what you discover, and when you're ready, share your story in the comments below. We read every single one, and your story might just help someone else on their journey. Because here's the thing, we're all haunted in one way or another. We all have shadows, archetypes, and synchronicities whispering to us, waiting to be heard. The question is, will you listen? And if you want to dive deeper into the mind-blowing world of Carl Jung, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, because we're just getting started. We'll explore more of Jung's theories, from the power of dreams to the secrets of alchemy, from the hero's journey to the mysteries of the mandala. Until next time, remember, the mind is a mystery, but the answers are within. The people who haunt your thoughts aren't your enemies. They're your teachers, your mirrors, your guides. Embrace them, learn from them, and step into the fullness of who you are. See you in the next video.